I've always wondered about Fu-chan's first thoughts on Vox and his current viewpoint of him.
Honestly, like I heard you talk about the very realistic parts of it a couple of months ago, where you were talking about when I first showed up, you were like, is this guy going to come in and steal my fans? Like my first viewpoint, like the first thing I ever heard from you was just like the little voice grabs that we always do. So you being like, oh, well, speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil.
And I just heard that and I was like, oh, this is going to be my counterpart? I'm fucked. Like, damn, his voice is so fucking sexy. His model is so freaking cool. He looks like fucking Hua Chang.
Hua Chang,
One
yeah.
of my favorite novels, like with the long dark hair. And I was like,
genuinely, like, you're not even wrong. The amount of times I've seen art of Hua Chang and retweeted it thinking it was art of me.
I've seen you do that, yeah. It's like,
yeah, that's definitely me.
I'm like, does he realize this is my boy Hua Hua? It's so funny. Oh man, but yeah, no, that was my first impression. I was just like, oh, I hate this. I'm going to be forever seen as like the inferior Lambro. I'm so angry. Why would they put me against this guy? Why wouldn't they put me against like somebody else, somebody simple to fight against? But yeah, no, then I was like, you know what? I'm going to lean into that. I'm just going to be chill. I don't really care. Like NIJISANJI is just such a nice place to just... If you get into NIJISANJI, honestly, you're doing fine for like whatever you do. You just have to, from that point, decide. Like I've said this to you and the Luxium boys before, and I've said this on my own channel before, but I think only on membership streams, is that because Luxium did so well, I feel like the pressure was off for Noctix. Because I had even said during the interview process, it was just straight up like, I'm never going to have a big fan base, but I want to have a fan base that are like devoted. I want to be devoted to my fans and give them what they want, and like I'm going to be into specific interests, and I'm not going to hide the weird specific interests that I'm into. It's going to scare away the masses, but the people that do show up are going to be people that like the kind of things that I like, and because of that, we're all going to feel quite closely knit because of that. And because of that, I was able to see you guys blowing up and just be like, oh, sweet, the pressure's off. They're going to be like massive. I'm going to fade into the shadows of obscurity. It's going to be fucking great. So yeah, at first it was like a scare thing where it was like, oh no, that's too much pressure. And then I was just like, no, fuck that. That's a good thing. I never wanted to get into this to be like massive. I wanted to get into this to just be able to share my interests and have a good time. And it really was like, we've talked about this a lot, like in private, the fact that most of us came from places where we weren't sure who we could trust in the communities around us. And we weren't sure who we could reach out to, who was just trying to use us, and if we'd look like we were using other people. And so getting into NIJISANJI is just like, hey, these people have to work with us. Like,
they're contractually obligated. They didn't have a choice. It's not my fault.
If I reach out to them, sure, they could say no, but they can't say, oh, you disgusting leech, go away from me. We're all in the same company. So I could just keep reaching out to them and be like, hey, guys, you want to play some Among Us? I mean... just want someone to backstab, please.
Like, especially because Luxium were the first boys to join a group of all girls, and it was like, surely
I can't imagine how terrifying that was for
the girls. It was a little scary,
point.
You know, because I think that what they were experiencing as well is the fact that, like, yeah, we've had like this unity of being all girls, and then having like 5 lads join, especially Luxium, who are like the boys, you know. I think it's interesting how Noctix have like that whole found family vibe, you know, and you guys are like very emotionally connected to one another, and you have like this really wonderful dynamic and stuff. Whereas Luxium are just like a bunch of young blokes who are just like, where are all the fighters in this town? What the fuck is going on, mate? You know, and we just sort of
were really lightning in a bottle kind of thing, because you guys are so different but work together so well with your different comedy styles.
It's weird. I think what sums it up the best is that, to me, I think Luxium's personality was cemented when we had our first Minecraft collab, where it was 1 week after debut. The first week we had our Prop Night 1, which was a big part of it, but then in the second week we had our Minecraft collab, where we had me making all of my disgusting, dirty jokes, Mr. being just loud and unhinged, Ike being like, I hate it here, Luca pranking everyone, and Shu just calmly farming in the corner, just not minding any of it happening. That entire collab just told everyone, this is Luxium, these are our personalities, get used to it. And ever since then, it's just felt so easy to be ourselves. you know.
You five just work together so well as a group. Whereas I feel like with Noctics, we don't necessarily entertain so well as a group. We have moments that are fucking hilarious, but we're more just like five guys who look after each other like in the back end. Like we still have our individual chat where we're just constantly just talking to each other, talking about like the harder parts of streaming, how many things we have going on at once, and like looking after each other's mental health and being just really close, separated from other people sometimes. Where I feel like we are definitely more introverted than you guys, because I always see you guys in like the hangout chats and everything as well, and it's always like, yeah, I just post this on the Noctis group instead. Be like, hey, check this. So yeah, we love that kind of shit in our own way, where we're just like, it's better to like keep this shit like offline, keep this to ourselves. Whereas you guys are very much like boisterous, extroverted kind of thing, full of energy.